14th.
So now our first events on the track this morning. The men's 200 meters.
In corsia 9, il greco Ioannis Kariopillis. In corsia 8, il norvegese Johansen. In corsia 7, il croato Farkas.
All done on times.
And lane 6 for the European under-20 silver medalist for Czech Republic.
So let's have a look at the athletes in this first heat. There's Kubelik, Edward Kubelik of the Czech Republic. 20.5 performer at his best, 20.6 this year. He goes in lane 6. This is the first of 3 heats in the men's 200 meters. The qualifying conditions were the 12 fastest advanced to the semi-finals, where several athletes have already been given buys, as has become the norm at these championships. It's a policy that's new to me, and I'm still not entirely sure I'm happy with it, but what do I matter? Purala goes inside him in lane 4, the Finn, and there the Pole Lukas Jok in lane 3. So let's go through this lineup for you in full. Jok of Poland in 3, Purala of Finland in 4, Truskauskas of Lithuania in 5, then Kubelik of the Czech Republic in 6, Roko Farkas of Croatia in 7, Matthias Hove Johansson of Norway in 8, and in lane 9 on the outside, the Greek Ioannis Kariopillis. The men in lanes 6, 7, 8 got a great lane draw. Kubelik, European under-20 silver medalist a few years back for the Czech Republic. Watch him. Farkas of Croatia in 7. So from these 3 heats, the 12 fastest will go through. Nobody in this race is assured of a place in the semi-finals as yet. Good running from Truskauskas of Lithuania in the yellow. Powerful runner, hunched-shouldered, coming through really strongly is Farkas of Croatia. Really good running from him in the latter stages. Yeah, Farkas, 20.71, and that is a massive new personal best. Wow. He's celebrating already. 2070, it's been rounded down, and it's a new national record. He cannot believe it. The Croatian runs 2070, broaches new ground. Superb stuff, taking his opportunity with both hands. Truskauskas second in 2078, and Kubelik 2091 in 3rd. But those times will go into the mix once we have the 2nd and 3rd heats done, Phil, and then we'll have an idea of who are going to be the 12 athletes to go through to the semis.
You're absolutely right, and it was the Lithuanian who ran the bend the sharpest, but coming through very, very well in that final 100 meters. Farkas, absolutely terrific performance from the 19-year-old. He's been Croatia's #1 sprinter for several years, right the way through his teenage years, and he hasn't turned 20 yet. He's just shaved about 2/10 off his own personal best and has improved the national record into the bargain. So Roko Farkas, very good 100-meter runner as well, but he's concentrating on the 200 meters. Men's 200 meters, Ramil Guliev of Turkey. He's out in lane 9, the former world champion from 2017. One of the fastest men ever in Europe at 1976. Just short of that long-standing European record that's still held by Pietro Manea at 1972, despite the best efforts of the likes of Guliev and Zarnel Hughes. Just wondering when it will go. I think it's living a little bit on borrowed time with the advent of some of the new sprinters in Europe, but it's still there after so many years now, 45 years. But there's Ramil Guliev. Guliev, 34 years of age now. 4 times World Championship finalist. Sort of struggled, for whatever reason, to produce his best in European Championships. Skosera of Slovenia. Ganis of Greece, Nemec of Czechia. And there's Kamansky, finished second on home soil in Silesia last summer at the European Team Championships. Jan Volko, Slovak record holder with 2024 from 2018, I should say. Grava of Latvia and Peel of Sweden. Well, as we were saying, it's all done on times. First heat won by Rocco Farkas of Croatia in 2070. Followed home by Gediminas Truskauskas of Lithuania 2078. That's the benchmark that these men are going to be looking at. From the inside, Peel, Grava, Volko, Kamansky, Nemec, Gakanis, Skosier and Guliev on the outside. Well, it was a slow start from the former European champion, and Skosier's already up on the shoulder of Guliev. On the inside, it's the Czech runner Nemec who's running well at the moment, and also the Latvian Grava. Grava now starting to pull away from Nemec, but Nemec coming through strongly as Grava tires, and Guliev leads his surge late and does get up for second place in the end after running what I would say for him was a poor bend. But Grava, Oskars Grava, personal best of 2087. I think he might have run quite close to that. No, a big... It's Nemec, though, coming through 2054, season's best for the Czech. Just 1100ths outside of his best. Guliev, 2066. As I said, Grava, personal best. Shaving a few hundredths off it in third place.
I'm just wondering why that's been called a season's best for Nemec, because he's from 2053 prior to today. So I don't think it is a season's best. Guliev, as ever, coming through very late for that second place. He was always very strong at his absolute best. Guliev, a brilliant bend runner. 1976 is best, although that was in Berlin all of 6 years ago at those European Championships.
Nemec's personal best is 2053 from 2021.
Ah, cunning. You're right.
There we see the results. Nemec, a season's best. Just 100th outside of his personal best at 2054. Guliev, 2066. Grava, personal best.
Well, over to the track now, the far side from where we sit for this third and final heat of the men's 200 metres. 7 athletes out there. In lane 9 is Felix Svensson of Switzerland. Yes, Svensson, Switzerland. His father is Swedish. 26-year-old, 2049 this year. Very close to his lifetime best from a couple of years back when he ran 2043. Diego Aldo Peterossi of Italy. Listen to this roar. Yeah, great reception for all the Italian athletes. National champion over 200 a couple of years back. 2071 in his last race in Modena was the season's best, so he's in good form. Zoltan Val of Hungary goes in 7th, best of 21:15, but he broke 2090 last 21 seconds last year with 2090. He's run a couple of 400s recently. He'll be strong. Look at Val in 7 of Hungary. It's come through late in this one. Patryk Wykrota of Poland goes in 6. He is a 27-7 performer this year, close to his lifetime best. Erik Erlandsson of Sweden goes in 5. The 20-year-old has run a lifetime best this year, 2062 in Malmo a couple of weeks back. Kasalainen of Finland goes in 4. 21:56 this year. He might struggle with that sort of time from lane 4. And in lane 3, Mark Smith of Ireland, 21:08 in Dublin. Back in February he ran. His first sport was Gaelic Games. Studied at the University of Dublin, the 25-year-old. So Smith of Ireland in 3, Kasalainen of Finland in 4, Erlandsson Sweden 5, the Pole Wykrota in 6, Hungary's Val in 7, Petorossi of Italy in 8, and Svensson of Switzerland in 9. Remember, nobody qualifies automatically from these. It's about the fastest athletes from these heats. the 12 fastest to join those who have been given a bye. Phil, I must admit, I missed that rule change. I wasn't aware that athletes could be given a bye through to further rounds. Now, it's one thing in the Olympics where athletes are turning out and racing, say, in the 100 meters as a token representative of their country, to have a sort of a first round like that. But what's the logic behind some athletes not having to race at all in the first round?
Well, I think it's the logic that's been imposed on the World Championships when they were brought in, is to actually make sure that the leading athletes are the best prepared. Of course, it does disadvantage. It can change the playing field a little bit. More interestingly, that particular rule change that came in, I think it was in Doha as far as the World Championships were concerned. But let's have a look now at what's going on the track here.
So, second time of asking then, heat 3 of the men's 200 metres. Smith of Ireland in lane 3. Tough lane draw for him. The Italian Rossi in lane 8 in that blue, second to left. Well, okay, away this time, okay. Lane 4 actually is empty. No Kasalainen from Finland. Smith's got a lot of work to do with that empty track outside, and really good running from Rossi through the first 150. Easing away now, coming through strongly, the Swede, Erlandsson. Erlandsson chasing down Rossi, and the Swiss, Svensson coming through as well, and Rossi might have got second, I don't know. Smith of Ireland back in 4th place, a couple of metres down. The winning time, 20:52. But who did take it? Certainly Rossi ran the best first 150, but then just ran out of steam. Smith of Ireland finishing in 4th place. It's all about the times, remember. Svensson, 20:52, the quickest of all of them with that time. Remember, the second heat was won in 20:54 by Nemec of the Czech Republic. The first heat was won in 2070, a national record by the Croatian Farkas. So there we are. The qualifiers, 12 of them from these heats, will go through to the semi-finals. Svensson, Nemec, Erlandsson, Rossi, Guliev, of course, all making it through quite comfortably. But Rossi maybe just didn't gauge his effort, Phil, over the full distance. He looked great and then just ran out of steam.
Well, Svensson looked very, very impressive over the second half of that race. He didn't run a particularly impressive bend, but he's a very strong athlete, coming through strongly. Just wonder how much they knew about Erlandsson on the inside, and Erlandsson running the race of his life to clip a few hundredths off his personal best. He's a pretty strong athlete. I would fancy him to be able to throw the shot a fair distance as well.
There it is. Svensson qualifies along with Erlandsson, Rossi, and Mark Smith eases through to the semis. Absolutely brilliant. Season's best for the Irish.
So we now move on to the men's 200 metres semi-finals. So on the outside, well, as you might imagine, after the success that they've had, which includes 7 gold medals so far, a huge cheer for anyone from the Azzurri wearing the blue vest of Italy. Diego Aldo Rossi. Close to his personal best with 20:56 in the heat yesterday. This morning. Just 2 outside of his best from 2022. Taylor Burnett, one of the stalwarts of the Dutch relay teams, twice a 4x400 meter bronze medalist. This is Timotei Mumenthaler, just 21 years of age, improved in St. Gallen to 20:35 just 2 weeks ago. The German record holder from last year, Joshua Hartmann, reduced the German record to 20:02. This is Peel of Sweden, perhaps one of the outsiders. Jenna Efoloku got a buy into this stage of the competition, the semi-finals. World Under-20 champion in 2018. Florida in April, reduced his personal best to 20:44. Truskauskas, a Lithuanian, 9 times national champion over 100 meters and 200 meters. And on the inside, Rukanaskis of Greece, 2086, recently in Athens. So, 2 automatic qualifiers, 2 fastest non-automatic qualifiers. Hartman has been in fine form recently as well. And 2036 in Doha at the Diamond League meeting. So keep an eye on lanes 4, Efaloco, Great Britain, Northern Ireland, lane 6 of Hartman of Germany. But the full lineup: Gankaris, Greece, Truskauskas, Efaloku, Heel, Hartman, Mumenthaler, Burnett and Petter Rossi as they're flying round the bend. And it is Hartman who's doing so well at the moment. He's had the best of the bends. Efaloco challenging and coming up well on the outside. Mumenthaler really having a fantastic run. It's between Mumenthaler and Hartman. I think the verdict just goes to Joshua Hartman. 20:38. Mumenthaler only a few hundredths outside of his personal best as the leading pair moved away from Efaloco, the Briton, in third. We'll have to wait and see whether he goes through as a fastest non-automatic qualifier. Hartman, 20:38 confirmed. Same time for Mumenthaler, just a couple of thousandths in it. Efaloco, 20:73. Efaloco, I think, will be a little bit disappointed with that after his early season form in the United States. Conditions cooling a little bit at the moment.
That was a fantastic head-to-head between the German and the Swiss, Hartman and Mumenthaler. Mumenthaler dipping across the line there, but yes, indeed, been given to Hartman with that same time of 20:38. Efaloco third in 20:73. And then Truskauskas 20:86. Petter Rossi, of course, the Italians inspired to fantastic performances. He was just caught out there, finishing in 5th place.
So there we have it, confirmation of that fantastic head-to-head duel in the first semi-final. Joshua Hartman just edging out Timothée Mumenthaler, both men given the time of 20:38.
Well, I think we've seen enough now to know that this track is fast. Let's see what it can produce in this second semi-final of the men's 200 metres. Nemec of Czechia on the outside. Jiril Kwainu, well, first time we saw him was at the European Under-20s, winning the relay there, but similar to Romel Glaive, who won the bronze in the 100, getting a first taste at senior level, and we'll see what he makes of it. Pablo Mateo, who was in that 100-metre final last night where he finished 8th. Must be a little bit disappointing, but maybe this is his better distance. William Race, brilliantly named, of course, for a track athlete, alongside European Under-23 champion 3 years ago, Erik Erlandsson. Big improvement to 20:55 this year, actually coached by Frida Lindahl, the mother of the European Under-20 champion, who also coaches her daughter Nora. Esiosa Desalu, part of the squad that won the Olympic 4x1 title. And we know that Marcel Jacobs, who was part of that, already with 100-metre gold. And Filippo Tortu coming up in the third semi-final. Ramil Guriev, perhaps best known for winning that 200-metre gold in London in 2017 at the World Championships a year later, winning the European title. Those were his best days, really. And Oskar Zgrava of Latvia, 22 years of age, the Latvian indoor champion who attends Riga Business School, 20:87, his personal best. So a little bit more wide open than the 100 metres, perhaps, but then that was very, very close between the medalists, just separated by a few hundredths of a second. Jacobs, Ali and Glaive. And Kwainu just might have taken some advice off from El Glaive. Be very interesting to see how the young Brit does here. Improved to 20:34 this year. The others, likes of Matteo, 20:03 at best, to give you an idea. Desalu, 20:13. So now getting underway, and Kwainu getting a very good start. Already trying to get past Nemec on his outside, but Matteo through the centre, and De Salu in the other blue vest. Another Italian rod on, but the Frenchman comes through now, Matteo. Again, he's looking across the track like that. Interesting tactics from him, from Matteo, especially when he didn't have the race securely won. Did in the end, though. 20:34 comes up. De Salu waiting for his time, but has got his place in the final. And now we wait to see on third and fourth. So Efoloku pushed down one. Still in one of the hot seat places for now, as we wait for the fourth place time to come up here.
Well, let's look at that again, that wonderful overhead shot. And of course, we're seeing the Italian coming through, De Salu, who's got so many good races in him over 200 metres. But Pablo Matteo, this has been the year when he's moved forward. Matteo, and he clocked 20:03 whilst on training camp in Texas in May. And he's come back to Europe and really shone. Well, Matteo was in the 100-metre final yesterday, but now really...
Second semi-final we saw a few minutes ago of the men's 200. Matteo and De Salu have got their places through to the final. What about the third semi-final, though?
Here it is, on the outside, the Israeli record holder and European under-20 record holder, Blessing Afrifa, now 20 years of age, and 1998 at the World Under-20 Championships in 2022. Filippo Tortu, Italian record holder over 100 metres. This season, 2072.
In lane 7, the
Former Italian record holder over 100 metres, preceding Marcel Jacobs. Andre Mashik.
In lane 6, it's the number 4 ranked athlete in Europe this year for France.
Ryan Eze, he looked very impressive in his heat yesterday. We've just seen Pablo Matteo secure his place in the final for France. Albert Kamansky, European Team Championships second placer on home soil in Silesia last year. Felix Svensson, another man who had an impressive heat. Svensson, previous European Championships finalist as well 2 years ago. Mark Smith, 5 times national champion, 3 of them coming in 200 metres. And on the inside, 19-year-old Rocco Farkas, who improved the Croatian record to 20:70 in the heats this morning. There's actually 3 men in the hot seat at the moment, with Erlandsson and Nemec having exactly the same time, right the way down to thousandths of a place, having finished 4th and 5th in that previous semi-final. So as they settle into their blocks, from the inside, Farkas, Croatia, Smith Ireland, Svensson, Switzerland, Kamansky, Poland, Zezek, France, Macic, Czechia, Tortu of Italy, and on the outside, Afrifa of Israel. Well, there's nothing really to choose between them around the bend, although Tortu now in this second 50 metres starting to motor, and Zeze as well chasing him down. Tortu having his best race of the season in this longer sprint. Afrifa coming through very strongly late in the race. It's going to be Italy followed by Israel. 2015, the fastest of the semi-finals. Filippo Tortu just 500ths outside of his personal best. Afrifa, that was a good run. Really coming home very strongly over the final 50 metres. A free for 20.46, season's best for the Israeli. Zeze just outside the qualifying places. It looks like we're going to have 9 men in the final. Erlandsson and Nemec. We have the men's 200 metres. This is Erik Erlandsson, set a personal best of 20.52 in his semi-final, still 20 years of age. Walking to the inside to lane 1. There's going to be 9 men in this final. Alongside him, Thomas Nemec. Nemec from Czechia also ran a personal best of 20.52, and they couldn't separate Nemec and Erlandsson. William Rees, 2021 European under-23 champion, now looking to show off his best on the senior stage. The man who is still the European under-20 record holder from 2021. Blessing a free bar. Esaiolo Desaiu, part of Italy's Olympic gold medal winning 4x100 metres quartet. There's 2 Italians in this final. He's followed out by his compatriot Filippo Tortu, bronze medalist in 2022 in this long sprint. A sub-10 man at his best, former Italian record holder in the shorter distance. And he's running very close to his best, ran 20.14 in his semi-final. This is the man who many people would consider to be the favourite. Pablo Matteo, the Frenchman. 20.03 earlier this year and looked absolutely majestic in his semi-final. He'll be in lane 7. The German record holder, Joshua Hartmann, last year ran 20.02. Looked good in his semi-finals, but he's going to need to raise his game if he's going to challenge the likes of Tortu and Matteo. And then filling the outside lane, lane 9, Timotei Mutanhala. 2021 under-23 silver medalist. Well, 50 years ago, this was the event that propelled Pietro Manea into the spotlight and the glaze of world athletics fans. Manea went on to set the still existing European record of 1972. As a side note, no Britons in this final for the first time since 1994. Well, Italy took gold in the 100 metres thanks to Lamont Marcel Jacobs. Can they make it 2 sprint titles through his relay partners, either Desaiu or Tortu? Or can Pablo Matteo spoil the party? So, crouching down from the inside, Erlandsson, Sweden, Nemec, Czechia, Rees, Switzerland, a free for Israel, Desaiu, Italy, Tortu, also Italy, Matteo, France, Hartmann, Germany, and Mumenthaler, Switzerland, the men's 200 metres final. It's a recall. Tim, did you see what happened there?
No, I didn't. That was a long shot. That shot rather was from a long way away, a high camera. Very hard to spot it when you're not closer down to ground level. But let's have a look at these times. And Hartmann, the German, in lane 8, looks like he might have transgressed. Let's hope not. There's been a lot of leniency, in my opinion, and plenty of people are saying the same thing in the media community at these championships over the last 4 days for what have looked like full starts. Watch second to top, the yellow vest, Hartmann of Germany. Yeah! Oh.
I
don't
think that was
there's much
visible.
dispute about that. That's really sad, but yeah, I don't think this needs to be a long discussion.
Well, it's come through, guys, as a 0.028 reaction time
Exactly.
for Hartmann in Germany, and all our track and field fans around the world watching us on our European Athletic stream know that the legal limit is nothing below 0.1.
German athletics fans holding their breath and clutching their faces. Hartmann,
He knows. He knows. Kath, don't they 99% of the time sprinters know? You've been there and done it. Were you a little naughty transgressor?
I don't think I ever was, because that's why I ended up at 400 metres. I wasn't quite quick enough on 100 and 200.
You mean you couldn't have full started if you'd tried?
okay. Track officials out. She's got a full selection of cards there. I'm just wondering which one she's going to pull out the back. No. Hartmann is disqualified. No leniency in this situation. And as Tim Hutchings alongside me was describing, yes, it was on the replay very clear. We're looking at it from a very, very long distance away, almost the exact opposite side of the stadium. So Hartmann departs from the arena, or at least the track, and the men's 200 metres final is reduced to 8 men.
Yeah, harsh, but they all know the rules, and he's accepted it well, taking it on the chin.
Yes. So, once again, they move forward. Erlandsson, Sweden. Nemec of Czechia. Rees, Switzerland. Afrifa, Israel. Desaiulo, Italy. Torto, Italy. Matteo, France. Lane 8 now empty. Mumenthaler of Switzerland out on lane 9. Well, they're away cleanly this time. Tortu running extremely well. He's quick out of blocks as befits a sub-10 100-metre man. And it's Tortu coming into the bend ahead. Now Desaiulo pushing hard. Rees as well, having an absolutely fantastic race. But Tortu accelerating on the outside. Mumenthaler has come through like an absolute train over the final 80 metres. Unbelievable for Mumenthaler. He's a personal best by almost 1/10 of a second. I don't think the others in the middle, Desaiulo, Matteo and Tortu, had any idea he was moving so quick. They had the beating of him round the bend, and it's going to be Mumenthaler, confirmed at 20:28. Delight for Switzerland, Tortu 20:41, and it's 2 Swiss men on the podium, with William Rees taking the bronze.
Well, Tortu looking stunned there. He thought he had that in the bag. He blasted the bend. It was very obvious. He ran it very, very hard indeed. Was well up on the athletes outside him. Within seconds, within 4 or 5 seconds, he had a significant lead on the rest of the field. And the 200's a long way. It's a long, long home straight if you run that bend too hard, Phil. He misjudged his effort, didn't spread it well. If it had been a 150, fine. He'd have blitzed it, but it wasn't. It was a 200. And I'll tell you what, Mumenthaler timed it to perfection. He spread his effort over the full 200 metres, came through brilliantly over the last 20, 30 metres, decisively so. And the fellas in between, I think maybe all got caught up a little bit trying to catch Tortu, and he perhaps made more of them tire in that section between 130 to go and 170 to go.
And I just wonder how significant it was, the fact that there was an empty lane as well, lane 8. It's a long way around to 200 metres. It's also a long way from the middle of those lanes out to lane 9. They didn't have any idea he was moving so fast.
It's a gold in the women's pole vault for Switzerland and another gold to close the night. Quite a night in the mountains.
The cowbells will be rattling.
The cuckoo clocks will be clocking, or cuckooing.
And a bit of product placement. The Toblerones will be
you can't, and the other chocolate bars are available. That was fantastic, though. I mean, brilliant from Mumenthaler. Good to see a fella from the outside lane, one of the outside bets. Certainly not a favourite, coming through like that so decisively. And yes, stunning Tortu. That the look on his face of shock there.
Well, I'm just so pleased for him. I mean, his biggest triumph in the past is taking a silver medal at the European Under-23 Championships. Personal best on the continental stage. What more can you want?
Well, Hartmann disqualified, Matteo disqualified, crossed the line in 6th place, but obviously must have put a foot on the line, the inside line of his lane.
But it doesn't affect the main results, does it? It's Mumenthaler, followed home by Tortu and Rees as well. Switzerland, Italy, Switzerland. Disappointment on the face of Tortu, as you rightly said. I think he got it in the bag and he didn't realise what was happening in lane 9.
Well, and he knows how significant it is to get a gold medal in a capital city in front of the home crowd. You know, it can be not a career-making achievement, but it can certainly be very significant, exclamation mark.
And he's seen the delight that's been accompanied the 8 gold medals already as we come to the end of day 4. I mean, it does add to the Italian medal haul. They're really, really moving away at the top of the medal table. But the man who was moving away quickest here in the 200 metres was this man, Timotei Mumenthal. Wonderful second gold medal tonight for Switzerland.
And Switzerland's first gold, Alex is pointing out, since 1969 over 200 metres. For those of you who were wondering. Brilliant stuff, though, from Mumenthaler. And I love that celebration between the pair of them. Rees on the inside, ending up with the bronze, a brace of brilliant Swiss medals. And Phil, you were talking about the dominance of the Italians in the medal table. They just keep ticking over that bottom line, don't they? The tally going on and on.
Well, yesterday we had medals in the half marathon, both with Yamani Bahan, Crippa, and also the team taking men's half marathon gold medals. Tonight it was Sarah Fantani in the hammer, and there's other opportunities for them over the remaining 2 days.
Yeah, 17 in total for Italy. They continue to fly at the end of day number 4. A couple of medals for Switzerland, as mentioned. Italy putting a couple more on the board as well. Let's not forget Belgium picking up a medal with the 400-metre gold from Alexander Doom and his championship record as well. Poland picking up a medal with Kaczmarek in the women's 400, just beating Rashida Adeleke. And look at that one there. Switzerland, 20.28 seconds. The cowbells, as the guys were saying, were ringing around the Stadio Olimpico. A super end to our day here. 6 finals we brought